I have a few items here in front of me from brands that I don't think I've ever tried before. I have a product from Morphe, a product from Viseart, a product from Benefit, and from Estee Lauder. I don't think that I've ever tried anything from these brands, and then I'm also mixing in some things that I also wanted to test, so let's get into it. I'm very curious. Alright, so the thing that I want to start with, this is not from a brand that I haven't tried before. This is from a brand that I have a lot of videos on my channel. This is the Nabla Skin Realist Skin Tint, and they came out with some new shades a little while ago, and I thought, okay, maybe one of these shades would actually work for me. I get it in shade 1.5, and I actually heard that this is quite a nice product. So this is a beautifying tinted balm with hyaluronic acid microspheres. There's 48 milliliters in this. So yeah, I wanted to try this sometime. I did swatch it. It feels quite thick. Feels like it's gonna be hydrating, so that's good because I have dry skin, and it seems like it might be a little yellow for me. I swatched it a little bit on my face already, and it does seem kind of yellowy, and this is supposed to be a light with a neutral undertone. I have a neutral undertone, but like neutral to cool, and this, I think I might be able to make that work, but maybe the shade down would have been a little better, but they described that as having a warm undertone. So I thought, okay, maybe not that one. I'm just gonna pump one pump on my hand and then work it into my brush, because the pump that I did in my swatch, that went a little far. That went a long way, and I have a pretty small face. Like, I'm a small person with a small face. I don't know, like sometimes you see people on screen, you see them in real life, and you think, oh wait, I thought you were tall and then they were small, or the other way around. I don't know what you would expect from me, but I definitely am very small. Especially in the Netherlands, everybody here is so tall. Okay, working this in. Let's see. Okay, I think probably when using this in a bit of a lighter layer, I can get away with this. It's also a skin tint, so I didn't think that it was gonna be like too much of an issue. And I also like kind of like a lighter layer of coverage. Okay, now I feel like most of it just kind of sunk into the brush. Like, there's not that much happening here. Does this have perfume? I always think to check if something has perfume, but am I smelling my brush? Does it have perfume? It doesn't say the ingredients on the bottle. Let me see. Oh, it's on the bottom. Please don't have perfume. I don't think I see it. Sometimes things just smell like ingredients. I don't think I see it here. I'll have to check that a little bit better later. I'm just gonna do another pump. Like, the color is looking pretty good, I think, when it's not like the thickest layer of life. So I'm gonna work that in once again and apply a little bit more in the middle of my face. I feel like the middle of my face in a way needs the most coverage, like right here. I usually focus products, and on my forehead. I am liking this so far. It makes me think a little bit of the Kiko Serum Foundation that I've been really enjoying lately. That one does have perfume in it, so I have to be a little bit careful like how much I use it. I feel like I say this at basically every video, so maybe you're sick of me saying it, but I'm allergic to perfume, and I think I do need to give that context when I'm judging products or when I'm telling you about favorites. Okay, I think this is looking pretty good. It's looking healthy. Okay, let me blend it in a little bit more, by the way. It's looking healthy, but not too overly glowy. I don't think it's going too far. I think the color is quite good. I don't think it's too far off. I feel like it's matching my neck pretty well. Let me do a little bit of a close-up. It is time to really check how it's sitting on my skin. Okay, I don't think that this is emphasizing any texture or any dryness. I feel like it's sitting on my skin really nicely. It doesn't feel thick, it doesn't feel sticky, but it definitely has that kind of hydrated look to it, which I do really enjoy. It does make me think of the Serum Foundation by Kika Milan. It does make me think of that, like with the finish and the way this sits on my skin. So if you like that one, or you're really interested in a more hydrating foundation, then this could be something. Like, you still have to test the wear, of course. This is just me applying it for the first time, but I don't know. I have a feeling I'm gonna like it. Okay, let's just see how this is gonna like wear throughout the video. I will also update you in a comment. I do not have a new concealer, I think. No, so I'm gonna use one that I already own and just a little bit, because I don't feel like I need a lot today. Like, it has covered imperfections quite well. Like, the coverage was good. Like, not too heavy, but good coverage. That's what I want. That's what I want to go for. And I'm just starting my concealer here and then blending it up. I don't like really thick concealer. And I do kind of like the look where you still see a little bit of like natural shadow under your eye. I feel like it looks more natural. So that is gonna be the base. Oh wait, I still have something to blend out over here. Okay, this is looking quite good. I'm liking it. Okay, next product. I think it's time to apply the pink shade of the 24/7 365 lip balm by Nimya. This is a new shade they've come out with in their lip balm. And this is the old packaging of the lip balm. They have redone it and they have added a shade. This is one of my favorite lip balms ever. It is so good. I really, really love it. So this is also my second tube. I rebought that one, and this is the pink shade, which is called, wait, doesn't it say the name? No, it doesn't say the name on here. It's kind of like a mid-tone pink, like a not too cool toned, not too warm toned. I have worn this a couple of times, but I haven't paid that much attention to it, to be honest. I just threw it on just a little bit. Okay, it's nice and glossy. I don't feel like it sits weird on my lips. I also don't taste the sweetness with this lip balm. Not with the regular one, also not with this one. But this is a cute balm. I really like it. I'm just gonna let that sit. And then we have another lip product in a little bit after the rest of the makeup is done. I think it is time to finally try the Benefit Hoola Wave Balm. I have been eyeing this, but I wanted to grab this on a sale, and this was on sale at Douglas, I think, and that's where I ordered it. And they finally had it. By the way, it took some time for it to get to there. And I have the shade Original, and this looks like a pretty good bronzy tone for me. The lighter shade also looked pretty good, but I heard that this didn't have the most pigmentation, which I do like, but then the lighter shade can be a little bit too light, a little bit too subtle. This, by the way, when I swatched a lot more creamy, felt a lot more creamy than I was expecting. I was thinking that this was gonna be kind of like a putty bronzer, but it definitely feels very creamy, kind of melty. You can see it here as well. It's just kind of like melted under my finger. It's really interesting. It's not what I was expecting, but I think I actually am really gonna enjoy this. Like, I have good hope for this product. So I'm gonna dip in a bit with this brush. And let's see what this will be. Okay, this is basically blending in instantly. I don't really see where I first applied it. Like, I'm just dipping in a few times and then dabbing that on my cheeks. That looks really nice. Looks really nice. It's definitely not too pigmented. It does pick up with the brush, but yeah, not exactly what I was expecting. I really thought it was gonna be like a super shock bronzer. This doesn't feel sticky, it doesn't feel heavy, it's very lightweight, and it looks really natural. It has a natural kind of sheen that is quite nice. I like it. I don't think I should have bought the lighter shade. I think that wouldn't really show up on me, and it's quite a nice neutral shade of bronzer. I really like this. I could really see myself enjoying this. Not what I was expecting at all, but really nice and smooth nonetheless. It does have kind of like a blurring effect to it. It looks very nice and just kind of like bronzy. Of course it's a bronzer, but I feel like it looks naturally bronzy on me. I really like that. I do feel like, do I look a little bit yellow because of that foundation? Does it make me look a little bit more yellow than usually? Maybe. Okay, let's do a little bit on the forehead. Just a pretty subtle but really smooth looking bronzer. Like, this was effortless. So nice. I like it. Yeah, I really love that look. So this is the bronzer on both sides. And you can tell that it kind of has a sheen to it, but nothing too crazy. It just looks very natural, but also my skin has a little bit of a sheen to it from that skin tint. I think I'm really gonna like this one. I have a good feeling about it. I am so happy that this lip balm doesn't sit weird in my lip lines. It's like the bane of my existence. It's what always happens nowadays with lip products. They always sit in my lip lines, but this one looks good. It looks good. Okay, we have the Cheek Thrills Multi-Finish Face Trio, and I got it in the shade Blind Date. This was a shade that I was also talking about in my buy or skip video. This is just a really nice kind of like neutral pink trio, and I just love these kind of like softer neutral pinks. This is just a very natural flush. When I went to the store to pick this up, I had made a reservation for this product. I went to the store to pick it up. The girl at like the checkout, she asked me, why does everybody want this product? They just had one big pile of Cheek Thrills, Cheek Trios that people had reserved at that store. It was already sold out online, so that's why everybody, I think, was reserving it in store. But I think a lot of people are actually quite liking how this is looking. I feel like Morphe is going through a little bit of a rebrand, and it's just a little bit more exciting and a little bit more enticing than what they had before. I do really like the packaging of this one. Like, the outer packaging matches the inside, and I feel like the way this looks is kind of like fun and playful. I do like it. So we have two kind of like balmy creamy products. So a balmy blush and then kind of like a balmy shimmery, like almost highlighting blush, and then we have a powder blush as well that are all pretty much the same shade. I think I'm gonna go in with the cream blush first, and this is just such a nice shade of muted pink. Let's see. Oh, that is really nice and soft. I love these types of colors. This is so nice, actually. It felt kind of balmy in the swatch. This is going on really beautifully. I do have a feeling that the skin tint is making everything look so good. Okay, I thought that maybe this would feel a little bit more like balmy or sticky or a little heavy, but it's very lightweight. And I feel like it's not sticky. No, it's dried down, but I do feel like you have some time to manipulate that, to just work with it and blend it out. It's just a very thin formula. This is so nice. What a successful video so far. This is really cute. And then I'm gonna take the Balm, I think. So the second shade. And I think I'm just gonna grab it with that same brush and apply it on top. It's kind of making it a little bit more glowy, I think. Is it? Like, this is the one side, this is the other side. Is it changing much? I don't know. There was already a little bit of a glow to it, and now it's also like, it was glowy and it is glowy. I'm gonna take a little bit on my finger. It has quite a bit of pigment to it. It's definitely not a highlighter, it's definitely more blush topper, and it has a little bit of a shimmer to it. Okay, this definitely has to go all over my cheeks, otherwise it's gonna look weird. So let's blend. It just has a little bit of mica in it. It has a little bit of a shimmer in it. Just gonna add on a little bit on the other side. I don't know how I feel about this second shade. Like, the first shade was really nice. Now I don't know. I'm a little unsure. Yeah, there's just kind of like a subtle shimmer to it. It looks kind of cute, but I kind of feel like I have to figure out how I like to use that. I think maybe I want to try that on its own to really see like how I feel about that formula. Like, now it's looking pretty cute, but I don't know, maybe I liked it a little bit better before. It's not looking bad, for sure. Do I now set it with the powder? this one. Feels kind of like a weird step after applying a glow. I'm gonna take a little bit, like one dip of that powder, and let's see what happens. Okay, now I'm really blushy. I do like a very blushy look, don't get me wrong. And I do feel like that added a little bit of blur. So this is with the powder and this is without the powder. Like there's still some glow to it for sure. So one more dip, setting the other side as well. Okay, I like it. I like this cheek. I think I'm gonna stop messing with it for now. Maybe at the end I will blend out this a little bit more. But I also have a highlighter that I want to test. So this is the NYX Buttermelt highlighter. And this is in the shade Bright and Butta. It's a light champagne. And I've heard so many good things about these highlighters. And when they were first announced, I thought, okay, I'm gonna be testing those out. I am gonna be all over that highlighter, but then it took a while for it to get to the Netherlands. Then they only had it at Zalando, which I avoid purchasing powder products there nowadays. So I think I ordered this in the end from Booty Shop. And I also have a pink shade, but today we're just gonna try the champagne one. And I'm just gonna dip in once and apply right on top and just kind of diffusing that. So yeah, I've heard really good things about this, but is it gonna blow me away? Is it gonna feel like it's worth it? It looks really smooth. It actually looks quite natural. It doesn't look like anything crazy. Like this one doesn't have any glitter in it, and it's also not super metallic or super glowy. I'm just gonna diffuse it a little bit. It's a little different than I was expecting. Once again, it's really natural, actually. Much more natural than I was thinking. It does look quite brightening, but also kind of natural. Okay, we need another close-up. I cannot make up my mind. Like, what is going on? It's just super smooth and kind of almost lit from within. Like I did pick up a normal amount of highlighter and I don't know, it looks kind of like just subtle and natural. I'm gonna go over this with my blush brush to blend it. I don't know. It's just very soft. Kind of cute, but I definitely have to use that again with different products to really make up my mind. Okay, next product I actually kind of quickly decided on. Didn't really expect this to happen this week, but I bought a Viseart eyeshadow palette and I believe this one is new. This is the one in Lilas Lumiere Étendu Lilas Pro. And this is kind of like a cool tone neutral eyeshadow palette in their kind of like smaller eyeshadow palette line. About, I think, a year ago or a little over a year ago, my sister and I gave my mom a Viseart eyeshadow palette, and I hadn't actually tried a Viseart eyeshadow palette myself, and I still haven't. Like, this is the first time I'm buying a Viseart eyeshadow palette, but just the way the palette looks and the fact that she has hit panel like half the shade made me feel a little intrigued. I was intrigued. Like, it looked very good. I feel like the promo shots of Viseart are just not the best. They are just not very appealing. But then that eyeshadow palette, I just thought it looked really good. And my mom really loves it. And I've just been kind of waiting for an eyeshadow palette that felt makes sense for me, and I do love for my daily life, for going into the office, for just doing things out with friends. I do love using cool tone neutrals. Like, I love mixing it up. I love mixing colors with neutrals, but this is just the kind of thing that I think I'm gonna dip into quite a bit. So this has really nice kind of like brown purple packaging. I really enjoy the packaging of this one. When you open it up, you have kind of like this protective lid that you can decide if you want to like leave that on or if you want to like rip that off. And then this is a very almost basic but also very practical looking neutral palette that leans cool toned. We have some very nice cool tone shimmers When I was swatching this, these shimmers actually swatch really nicely and I almost didn't expect it. I thought this was going to be more basic, but the shimmers actually look really good. And I just think that this is the type of palette that I would just use over and over and over again. I love these kind of like choppy browns. And then we have some kind of like almost pinks. And then some soft silvers, taupey shimmers. I think this swatched really beautifully and I cannot wait to put this on my eyes. Okay, I just applied a little bit of Milani eyeshadow primer and we can do a look. Whichever way I'm gonna put it, this look is gonna be pretty basic. I think I just want to try out the formula from Viseart. I just want to see what this is about. So I think I'm going to go into this shade over here first. Do they have any shade names? I don't think they are on the palette. So this one here in the corner. I think I'm gonna take that paper off pretty quickly. It's already driving me a little insane. So I'm just gonna take these eyeshadows. These mattes are feeling kind of like almost scratchy powdery in a swatch, but that doesn't have to mean that it's not good quality. It really depends on how it's going on the eye, but it does seem kind of like powdery in the pan. Okay, so this shade is already showing up a little bit darker than what it was in the pan, and usually I do like that. I like to have the possibility, like if you take a little bit more and you build it up, that it's actually possible and actually adds a little bit more dimension than you might think from the pan. Okay, that is going on quite nicely. I'm taking quite a bit on the brush, by the way. I do think that these are the types of eyeshadows that are easiest to perform well on me because I am neutral to cool. Like, these shades blend into my skin tone quite effortlessly. Okay, this is looking good. I am gonna go and deepen that up and I'm gonna grab this shade over here and I'm gonna see if that can already give me enough depth for the type of look that I'm going for. I gotta wash my brushes again. Okay, this one is clean. Let's apply this in the outer corner. Oh yeah, that's giving me depth. Like, not all eyeshadow formulas are giving me the depth and dimension that I want. Like, you think you're going in with a shade that's pretty deep and then it's kind of soft. And this palette doesn't do that. Like, this is already deep enough for me for sure. And then the darkest kind of like dark brown shade I could personally use as a shadow liner. Like, this is already really nice. No issues so far. But yeah, a bunch of powder kick up in the pan for sure. I love these tones together. I know it's basic, but I love it because I just think it's just such a beautiful look. But yeah, I can imagine that if you already own Viseart eyeshadow palettes, that you might think that this is a little bit too similar to what they already have, but sadly I cannot compare. I do not have the other eyeshadow palettes. I'm just going in with that first brush for the edges. And then I want to grab a brush for the lash line. And I'm gonna go in with this shade over here, this more taupey beige. And I want to see how that translates on the eye. Ooh, I love this. I love this. I think that these shades, that these mattes are very like easy, effortless, and just look very beautiful and diffused. Like, that was so easy to do. These are just the kind of mattes that kind of blend themselves, but are still buildable. Like, there's a softness to them upon first application, but then you can build them up. And I love this color. This is for me a natural shadow. I'm gonna take a little bit of this shade again on the lower lash line. Just a bit over here. I feel like if you're cool toned but you don't like grays, then this is such a nice palette. Also because it's not like super mauvey purpley. It's truly a nude palette. I'm really liking this so far. Let's try some shimmers, and I think I want to go into this shade, and I want to put a little bit of this kind of like in the inner corner because that one swatched really nicely. And I'm just gonna be applying that with my finger. This one feels really soft. Like, this is not a duochrome or anything, but these just looked so nice in the swatches. And sometimes, yeah, that is really nice. Sometimes you just want something kind of simple. I really like the look of that. This is not a putty or very creamy eyeshadow, but it just has enough pigmentation. Like, with that dip, I can do 2 of my eyes. As if I have more eyes. I can do both my eyes. Why does my eye water? My eye never waters. And then that lighter shade, which feels almost a little bit more dry, but this one almost seems like a duochrome actually. It has kind of like a pink to a silver effect. With this one, you can pick up a little bit more. Like, it doesn't go as far as that taupey shimmer on the lid that I applied first. I feel like this formula is very easy, soft, and pretty. It just feels like an elevated, kind of like luxurious formula. What I would expect from Viseart. It feels like that. I'm gonna blend out the outer corner a little bit with just the residue that's on this brush with the darker shade. And I think I want to try this shade in the inner corner. I just always want to see if it is bright enough, if it does give enough dimension, if it is pigmented enough. So let's see. Oh, that's nice and brightening. Okay, I think that will actually work really well in the inner corner. I love a matte inner corner, and especially if it's like a very light, almost whitish pink. That's my favorite. But also pastels. And this is just a very buildable formula. Not the lightest pink, of course, but I think it's working for me. I like that. And then for the last step, I actually want to use the darker shade, as I said, as a shadow liner. So this one. And then I actually use quite a few shades in this palette, in this look. So just smoking this out a little bit. It's just not the type of matte formula that really sticks in one place. Like, it's pretty easy to diffuse. Okay, and then this is gonna be a look before mascara. I think this is gonna be so nice. And this is just the kind of look that I feel very like pretty. And like, it's not as creative, but it's just very like soft and I don't know, just flattering. I really like it. So I'm just gonna do my brows and I'm gonna put on some mascara. Okay, so this is the look with mascara, and as I said, I really love it. I feel like this is looking so good. I took up the lip balm. I think that lip balm is great. This is like the 4th time that I've worn it, but I hadn't actually looked closely into the mirror before. So the last product that I want to try, that I decided to buy, and I kind of feel like, why? But there was just something very intriguing about this, and I could once again get this on a deal. Usually I'm not really into very luxury makeup because there's just so much drugstore makeup that I love, but I decided to give this a chance. So this is the Estee Lauder Pure Color Melt On Lipstick, and this is in the shade 390 Melted Melon, and I think this is about 40 euros if you don't get it on a sale. I did get it on a sale where it was like 29 euros. And this is actually made in Korea. Interesting. And this is kind of like a soft pink, like muted pink shade. It looks really good, swatched really nicely. I'm just gonna use it on its own, but I might add a lip liner. It's very melty. It's very soft. It smells very strongly of florals. Like, this is very floral. If you don't like a strong floral scent in your lip products, then this is not for you. I feel like it's a little bit of a jaded scent to put in lip products. I feel like nowadays we usually see more gourmand soft vanilla scents. It's my preferred scent. Okay, so this is the melting lip balm. It feels very nice. It feels very soft, but it's a little bit less glossy almost than I was expecting. It's a nice color. Let me see. I feel like it's looking pretty good. I see a little tiny bit of sinking into the lip lines, but it's nothing too crazy. I don't think that's really gonna be an issue. I feel like I applied a little bit too much, but it's also so melty that it is possible that that happens. So I'm gonna blot a little bit. Okay, I think that is better. Do I feel like this product is worth 29 euros or 40 euros? I cannot say yet because there are so many amazing lip products. Also, that are just a little bit more expensive, like around the 20 euro mark. It is a little bit of a thicker feel. It does feel nice. It does feel hydrating. There's no plumping to it, which also a lot of these clicky stick pens have. I like it, but I don't think I can say yet if I'm gonna love this. It also kind of depends on the wear time of this. Like, it's cute, but I don't know if it's like super special. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit of lip liner and then I'll be back with the finished look. Alright, here we have it, the finished look, and I really love how this came out. I do feel like, even though I really like how this is all looking, that I have to take my time with these products, try them again, see how I really feel about them, and just use them separately from the products that I'm wearing right now. I feel like the skin tint is making everything look really even, really smooth, really hydrated, and really good. It doesn't feel heavy at all. It doesn't feel drying at all. I'm actually really loving this skin tint so far. It really depends, of course, on the wear time. The eyeshadow palette, I don't really think there is a chance I'm not gonna like that in the end, but of course I'm gonna try all the shades. It's a new brand to me. I always thoroughly try all the shades in a palette if it's a new to me brand. And I don't know, the cheek trio, I just really have to use that on its own again. I have to use that shimmery blush on its own again to really see how I feel. The highlighter is just, it's kind of like soft and subdued. It's a little bit less blinding than I was expecting it to be, so I kind of have to get used to that idea. The bronzer, I think it's gonna be a favorite. I think this is gonna be really good for me. I really love the shade, really love this kind of like blurring effect that it has on the skin. Really like that. I think that this lip balm is gonna be one that I throw in my purse and just reapply whenever. It's just such a good formula and it didn't sit weird on my lips. The Estee Lauder, I do like the look of it. I do like the shade of it, but I don't know. How do you feel about it? How do you feel about it? Like, was it worth it? Like, once in a while, I like to just see what is happening over at the luxury makeup, just to have that in mind. It's kind of like an anchor point almost when I'm reviewing drugstore, because if you're always reviewing drugstore, how can you know if it's as good or better than luxury? So I kind of just wanted to dabble in a little bit of luxury, do something a little bit different for me, but I don't think that this lip for me is giving 30 euros. I don't think it's necessary. Like, the packaging is nice, the color is nice, it has a nice glossiness to it, but I don't know if it's necessary. Okay, that's gonna be it. Thanks so much for watching. I think it was a pretty successful video and I will see you in my next one. Bye bye.